Respected members of the Sanghas, Venerable Associate Professor Phra Brahmapundit and friends in the Dhamma. On behalf of Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University, I would like to welcome you all to this academic conference on Buddhism and Brain, so that we will have opportunity to exchange views and learn from each other before international conference taking place here. As the rector of the university, would like to express my gratitude and thanks to our partner institutes to accept invitation to come here. As the rector, I have nothing much to welcome you besides some ideas. It is a Dhamma gift that I try to prepare for you, but due to very hectic schedule as the administrator, yesterday I have to go to the UN Conference Center to prepare for the General Conference of the Vesak celebration to take place on the third day of our conference, that is on the 8th of May. On that day, the Princess Somsawari is going to preside over the Vesak celebration at the UN Conference Center in Bangkok. So it's up to us to prepare everything. That make my schedule to be very tight. Still, my colleague, Dr. Hansa, insists that I have to come here and to say a few words. So it would be a few words, but it takes about 1 hour. That I have in my mind because I have so many things to share with you, and I am not giving you a keynote speech, but I will be. I'm lucky enough to be the first speaker. So as the executive of this university, I will give you the guideline. What is that we expect to be the outcome of this international conference, and why we call upon you to discuss on the main theme, mindfulness, and its application as a main theme of our IABU conference. That would be the first thing that we'd like you to understand our purpose. This is the third IABU, International Buddhist University, International Association of Buddhist Universities conference, taking place here for the third time. So we have the main theme for the conference as mindfulness, tradition and compassionate applications. We are aware of the trend in the world today that paying attention to mindfulness as a movement, especially in the field of psychology. We have heard about the psychotherapy or stress reduction practice or whatever it is in the Western world, whereas in our Eastern world we are focusing on meditation. We preserve very beautiful meditation traditions in Thailand. If you want to practice meditation, you go to the forest monastery in Thailand, in the northeast, in some central province, where you will be admitted to the temple in the forest to practice meditation and have a religious experience as it is in practice. This continuity of Buddhist tradition in Thailand and other country is become one of the theme of our symposia. There will be 3 symposiums or 3 symposia. First, we want you to explore the textual studies to draw uh, your knowledge from the text, from the Tripitaka, not only from the Pali source, Pali Tripitaka, but also from Chinese, Tibetan, and maybe Korean or Japanese Tripitaka, focusing on mindfulness. What is there in your Buddhist scripture in various languages and compare so that we will see the similarity and differences in the textual context of mindfulness or sati. So that's why we invite the scholar who well versed in the Tripitaka in various versions in various languages. And the second uh, purpose is that not only the textual study that we ponder upon, but how in daily life we apply and we practice meditation. It is there have been many methodologies of meditation practice in various countries in Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana Nikayas. So, as in Theravada tradition, you are familiar with uh, what is it? It is a vipassana or insight meditation from Theravada tradition. In Mahayana, you are familiar with Zen meditation from Japan and others. So, how we can combine and contrast and learn from each other so that we can have a new techniques which is appropriate for the modern world. This is the meditation tradition. And the third one, how we apply meditation techniques, meditation practice to purify our mind, to solve the problems in the world, especially for mental well-being, which is focused in psychology, psychotherapy. And from our experience in meditation technique, how can we apply this kinds of meditation to uh, say the other field of studies, especially whether our practice can be measured by uh, by scientific appliance or not. How we can be sure that our religious experience is not just a subjective experience which doesn't make any change in our body, doesn't make any change in our brain or anything. How our brain connected to our mind and how our brain developed by means of meditation, something like that. So this is what we expect you once you join the seminar, the conference, coming conference, you will ponder upon in these topics. But what MCU gain from this conference, I will tell my colleagues, which are majority here, you have to look at our objectives to fulfill our aims and purpose and philosophy. MCU, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University philosophy is that our university is to provide Buddhist education, integrating Buddhism into modern science for mental and social development. This is the educational institution which provide the deep knowledge of the Tripitaka, the Buddhist scriptures, but not as a Pali institute. We want you to be well versed not only in the textual study and its interpretation, but you have to be able to communicate or to teach the Dhamma that you have learned from the Tripitaka to society, to the modern world. How you communicate and propagate what you learn from the Tripitaka, the Buddhist scripture, to the young generation, using their jargon, uh, using their concepts, especially scientific concepts, so that you can draw them to Buddhism, help them to develop their mind and to develop our society. That is why we are talking of integrating what you learn from the Buddhist scripture into modern science. We the Buddhists are not against science. We are not in the history of Buddhism, 25 centuries, for 25 centuries, there have never been any conflicts between science and Buddhism. So we can harness the development of science for propagation or preaching Buddha Dhamma. So we expect you to learn from the scholars, especially scientific, from the science, the field of science, how they understand our Buddhist perspective, our Buddhist concepts from the scientific perspective. How can we explain our Dhamma in terms of their understanding? That is our purpose. So integration, for me, it is the act of combining components parts into integral whole, so that we can have a new territory, like instead of just having only psychology or Western psychology. In our university, we have a major subject on Buddhist psychology. You can join our university to do PhD in Buddhist psychology. You can join our institute to do MA degree in Vipassana meditation, so that after graduation you'll be a Vipassana master, meditation master. So it's quite easy if you want to be Vipassana master by getting the MA degree from university. You have to attend classes, take courses, and practice meditation for 7 months continuously. You have to take leave from your office, go to the forest with our master, practice meditation for 7 months. After that, you are qualified to be meditation master throughout the world and the next world. We hope so. So, so our MCU policy of integration is to be found in our various institutes and office. Like we focus on the textual study for Theravada tradition in Abhidhamma College. Abhidhamma is the main teaching of Theravada Buddhism. Without knowledge of Abhidhamma, you are not qualified to be a Theravada scholar. So to focus on Theravada study, we set up Abhidhamma College. And we have Vipassana Dura Institute in our university to to teach meditation and to develop our experience in Vipassana or insight meditation. We assign this institute to be the central office to take care or supervise meditation practice throughout our branches, all branches of university throughout the country. And as I mentioned, if you want to be a meditation master, you join MA class, get the MA degree in Vipassana Bhavana. This is a meditation practice itself. We apply, now it is integration of Abhidhamma and Vipassana meditation into modern science in the faculty, in the Department of Buddhist Psychology. You can be admitted to study for the degree of Buddhist psychology for MA and BA, a PhD degree. We still, more than that, we have uh, a major MA degree for in life and death, which is quite popular for the practitioner in hospitals. All the faculty that we have in our university focus on how to apply the Buddha teaching into modern science, so that we have the faculty of Buddhism, faculty of education. It is not secular education; it is a Buddhist and secular education, such and such. We have the faculty of humanities in psychology, in language. Our monks, our lay students have to be able to preach the Dhamma in English and other modern language. And uh, we have the faculty of social science, for social development. Our graduates have to be able to apply the Buddhist principle for social development, etc. Now come to our theme for today academic seminar, Buddhism and brain. The problem behind this topic is how you related brain to your mind. What is the seat of your mind? To answer this question, what is the connection between brain, mind, and body? You have heard the answer from scholars, from philosophers, even religious teachers, that we can group them, the answer, into at least three groups for the time being, that permit me to discuss to you. The first one is materialism, and the second one is idealism and dualism. You are familiar with these terms. Materialism, first, in Indian tradition, if you study Indian traditions at the ancient time, for example, in the Buddha time, in the Tripitaka, it is mentioned of the six kulus, who compete with the Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, like Purana Kassapa, Achita Kesakambala. One of them proposed the standpoint, or the the principle of materialism. It's called Jaravaka in the Indian philosophy today, or Lokayata, to be in the world. In the Buddha time, this name come up, Achita Kesakampala. In the Tripitaka, Theravada Tripitaka, Pali Tripitaka, this Kuru, Achita Kesakampala, is materialist. He said mind and body come from the same source, that is material one. Mind or citta or consciousness is a product of four elements. Now you can understand. It's just a product of combination of four elements. Now you get mind. So mind is nothing, is a byproduct. It is not reality in itself. It is a secondary reality. So the primary substance is matter, four elements. So this is a reductionism. You reduce on the mental experience, consciousness, mind, into the fundamental substance, matter. So the implication of this view is that no life after death. Death is the end of your life. No more reincarnation. No rebirth, which is quite opposite to the other, that is idealism. This is materialism. And in the modern time, Gilbert Wright wrote a very popular book called entitled Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine try to explain that if the body, it is very similar to Achitta Kesa Kampara, if the body is just a matter, how it moves, how it talks, how it acts, it means that there must be something very which is not matter, uh, uh, which is consciousness of mind in our body to control our activity. Does it mean that the mind here is a reality in itself? No. Look at the robot. Robot can talk. Robot can act. Is there any consciousness of mind in the robot? No. When someone, for a child, come across or meet the robot for the first time in his or her life, the child would think that this robot can talk because there is a ghost inside the machine. Mind is nothing, just a ghost in the machine, a byproduct of our body. See, this is quite, I think this view represents some scientific worldview today. When you talk of mind, is that a byproduct of brain, just a combination of four elements to be our body? The body is combined together up to the point that it functions in such a way that we think that there is consciousness, that is mind. The same thing, materialism or reductionism. How Buddhist worldview different from materialism. The second one, the point of view can be called idealism. In the Western philosophy, the popular one is John Berkeley, who said, "To be is to be perceived." The whole world is nothing but our mental state. You do not exist in yourself. I just create you. It's my perception. Seem to be ridiculous, but in our Buddhism, we have in Mahayana the teaching of Citta Matra, mind only. In Madhyamika, in Vajrayana, Yogacara, nothing exists outside our mind. It's Maya, illusion, just like a dream state. When you dream, you have a dream of something, you think that it's real, but in fact, in reality, it is not real. The fact is that right now, I may be dreaming that talking to you. You exist in yourself, or it's just my illusion. See? In Chitamatra, my mind exists, your mind exists. The other thing, the material thing matter, just the creation of your mind. This is idealism. And dualism is very popular through the work of René Descartes, who said, I think, therefore I am. There are two kinds of substance, mind and matter. No way to combine them or make them connected with each other. So it's separated substance. It's a parallel reality. No conversion, no meeting point. So this is dualism. Now I ask you, these three worldviews, materialism, idealism, dualism, which is quite popular among people in the whole world. Which one? Similar to the Buddhist worldview. Three Nikayas altogether. Some Mahayana tend to opt idealism. Once you talk of brain, be careful not to emphasize that our mind is a byproduct, is an outcome of the combination of our brain activity. That is not Buddhism. So the first question to you, how to give the suitable or appropriate response to the question, how is our brain or our mind related or connected to the brain? They exist side by side, no connectivity. If that is your answer, they have separate entity, no connection, then you fall into dualism. If you say mind is a product of brain, then you fall into one extreme view, Uchcheda Ditti, nihilism, no more life after death, nihilism, one extreme. If your answer is that mind only exists, external world is the outcome of our perception, we create the world, you will fall into another extreme, Sassata Ditti, permanent self, continue to be on and on, no disconnection, no stop. It's another extreme. So the Buddha preached Dhamma by the middle way. What is this middle way? Majjhima Padipada. I would like to learn from you all. See? Maybe in the afternoon or during the discussion. What is this middle way? Neither idealism nor materialism, and it is not dualism. Dualism is not middle way. It is go on each way, separate way of the two realities, mind and body. So now I will introduce to you some response to this question from the Theravada perspective. When we are talking about the middle way, please take note of the main concept of Buddhism in Theravada and Mahayana, Paticca Samuppada, Pratitaya Samutpada in Mahayana. Dependent origination. First thing is that whether mind and body are separate entity or not, but the first experience that we describe in our meditation, through our meditation practice, they are dependently originated. They depend on each other for appearance. There is no supposition of the separation, of the absolute separation between mind and body. Mind and body are aggregate, khanda. 5 skandha or 5 khanda create nama rupa, name and form. It is not name on the one side or form in the other side. It becomes a singularity, a single unit of reality called name and form, nama rupa. So this is the beginning point, the starting point in Buddhism. So we do not fall into the trap of dualism because they are dependently originated. But whether any one of them derive its reality from each other, no. Otherwise, if mind derives its reality from body, no rebirth. Mind can then in that case mind cannot exist without brain, without body. But in Paticca Samuppada, there is a sentence in Pali, avicca paccaya sankhara. Avicca paccaya sankhara, that is mental formation come from ignorance. Avicca sankhara paccaya vinyanang, that is kamma formation, kamma action, come from ignorance. Sankhara paccaya vinyanang, our consciousness, our mind, comes from kamma, action. That is accumulation of action that give us the rebirth. Because of the past karma, we come to the new life. The first instant of new life is consciousness and mind, not brain. So when human being is an embryo state, is it alive? That embryo is a living thing or not? For Buddhism, to kill embryo is equal to killing human being. As such, I'm not quite sure about the development of brain in the embryo state. But however, consciousness is already there. Vinyana paccaya nama rupang. Vinyana paccaya nama rupang. Name and form come to existence because of consciousness. Consciousness comes first. So consciousness can be independently entity, but doesn't separate from name and form. Okay, this is a textual quotation. Name and form depend on consciousness, and consciousness at the same time depends on, because it is dependently originated, depend on name and form. So come to the seat of mind. Then, after we survey on the worldviews like this, come to the term very popular in Theravada Buddhism, the seat of mind. Where is the seat of mind in our body? In Pali, it is Hadaya Wattu in Abhidhamma. Wattu is the seat, a station. Hadaya, mind, the seat of mind. So in Abhidhamma literature and commentary and the thesis like Visuddhimagga try to elaborate that the seat of mind is not in the brain. The seat of mind in the heart. Hadaya means heart. Buddha Kosa standpoint is our brain, our mind is in the heart. Even Abhidhamma literature, some Abhidhamma literature later on, Abhidhamma Sangha, compendium of philosophy. But when scholars do research back into Nikayas, the five Nikayas, that is the Sutra, the Buddha has not mentioned about Hadaya Wattu. Never at all. No word Hadaya Wattu, the seat of mind, in the Sutra, in the five Nikaya. That is regarded as the original teaching of the Buddha before our new Nikaya emerged like Mahayana. So, in the five Nikaya, in the Sutra, only the term Hadaya you can find. Hadaya is the organ, the heart organ. But it is not mentioned that this heart organ is Hadaya Wattu, the seat of mind. The Buddha never mentioned about Hadaya is the seat of mind. In the Sutra, in the Nikaya, only in Abhidhamma, in the later development, like Visuddhimagga, that especially Buddha Kosa, confirm that heart is the seat of mind. Then what to do? The way out of this is that interpretation of the state of mind can be viewed from Abhayagata point of view. There are at least 10 questions have not been dealt with or answered by the Buddha. We call Abhayagata, Panha, unanswered problem, undetermined position, undeclared position. For example, in the Chula Malungayovada Sutta, Malungaya Putta monk, a monk called Malungaya Putta, a venerable, ponder upon the 10 questions never answered by the Buddha. For example, the soul or Shiva is one thing. The soul and the body are the same. Or the soul is one thing, Shiva, and the body is another thing, different. The Buddha never said about the identity or difference of the two things. Whether the mind and the brain are the same thing. Instead of talking about soul, Shiva, the mind and the body, that is the brain, are the same thing. Or the mind is one thing and the brain is another thing. This question never been answered by the Buddha. It is a Abhayagata. And how dare you claim to be better, give the better answer solution? Be careful. Then what is it? What should be the way out? Malungaya Putta is interested in this position, undeclared position, and he went to meet the Buddha, insists that he has to answer the 10 questions, including this, the soul and the body are the same or different. Otherwise, he will disrobe, he will leave the monkhood. No point to be in Buddhist religion. The Buddha retorted, Malungaya, when you came to me and request me to be your preceptor to give ordination to you, in your request, is there any word in your request that become a condition for your ordination that you will be a monk if, as long as I answer these questions? No. This is not a condition of your ordination. So you can leave monkhood at your will, if you like. Why I do not respond to these Abhayagata questions? Because it will raise another question on and on, never ending. Because for you, a lay people, there is no proof. Whether your mind, your soul, the same or different from your body. If I say this, it is the same, you will say no, it is different. If it is different, then you say they're the same. There will be a debate on the time, and you will waste your time. Just as a man who was shot by the arrow, so he had a great pain. His company, his friend, want to carry him to hospital, but the victim, the one who was shot by the arrow, stopped them. Don't take me to the hospital. I want to know who shot me first. Whether he belonged to which caste system, Kshatriya, Brahmin, Vaisya, or Sutra. I want to know the identity of the shooter. And check from which direction I was shot before taking me to the hospital, taking care of all the detail. And look, which kind of poison smell or mix in the arrow, so it will help the doctor to treat me better. So his friend hesitate and take long time to search for the tutor, for the poison, for the direction. And when he turned to the victim, he died already. No treatment at the hospital. So in that case, what do you think? Malungkaya, the Buddha said, it's a waste of time. When suffering, which is like the arrow, is already there in your mind, why don't you try to eradicate your suffering instead of try to answer the metaphysical problems? Practice meditation. So live a sublime life, brahmacharya, and you will find the end of suffering, just like that victim get treatment from the hospital and alive. So from this Avayakata response, we compare, some scholars compare our uh, Buddhist worldview very similar to phenomenology in the modal tradition and pragmatism. For example, Venerable Wanpola regard Buddhist standpoint very similar to pragmatism, which which doesn't care for the reality in itself. Whatever reality is there, it is not their concern. Only the benefit of the worldview, the benefit of the discovery that count. Why take much time about metaphysical problems? Go to ethical one and apply knowledge available at that time to treat yourself, to kill your suffering. So in this case, don't ask the question whether the scientific reference in the Tripitaka is true or not. It is a scientific reference at the time of the Buddha for the purpose of preaching the Dhamma. We live in the new era of the new scientific discovery. We have to refer to latest scientific discovery for preaching the Dhamma. Get the point? Don't waste your time to metaphysical problem question like is brain and mind are the same thing or different thing. Whatever available that help you to understand your life, your mental entity, the latest scientific development, use it and apply it for practice, meditation practice. That is pragmatism. So, for phenomenology, the method for discover the truth is through your mind, contemplation or reflection. Buddhist methodology is a pure reflection without bias called meditation or insight or vipassana. Use your meditation experience or vipassana to be like a looking glass, to look inside you to see the truth of your consciousness, the truth of mind, and you will see that it's already there. When you describe your experience, it is phenomenon. Your phenomena is real for you. And this phenomena, the experience of consciousness cannot be doubted. I think, therefore I am. Without thinking, without consciousness, how do you have your mind? Consciousness is consciousness of something. Something is the external world out there. When I look at you, you are the object of my perception. No doubt that you already existed there. So now you exist, I exist. Come to see how we can live together in the world in peace. So this is starting point of phenomenology. What is given is more important. Back to the thing themselves. In Buddhism, yatha bhuta yana tassana, to see, uh, uh, to know and see things as they are. Phenomenological approach. So your mental activity is already there. Your brain is already there. Now you observe the activity of your mind and develop your experience to live in peace with the bliss. So in this case, I quote the Buddha words from the Tripitaka. Na hang bhikkhave lokena vivadami. Monks, I do not quarrel with the world. Why I do not quarrel with the world? Why I say so? When the world said that this thing is true, Dhammavati. Dhammavati as me will not quarrel with those who talk about Dhamma, the truth. The truth will be the same for all Dhammavati, for all who preach the Dhamma. In Dhammaniyama Sutta, Upathanang va tathakato. Upathawa tathakatanang. Anupathawa tathakatang titawa sa thatu thammatitata thammaniyamata. Whether the Tathagata, the Buddha, arise in the world or not, truth is already there. Dhammaniyama, the law of Dhamma is already there. The Buddha just discover the truth, the law of the nature, and preach to the world. No quarrel, no conflict. That's why Buddhism has a better attitude towards the discovery and advancement of science. No quarrel. And we are ready to learn from you, to apply for our practice in daily life. So even the two brain theory can be accountable in the Buddhist framework. This lady wrote a book, The Stroke of Insight. She has a hemorrhage in her left brain. Jill Taylor. So she recovered. In the left side brain, which is the seat of language, she could not speak for many months. But she perceived the world through the right hand side. This right hand side brain, right brain, communicate to the world. What she described in her book, The Stroke of Insight, she said, we use left hand side brain too much. That's why we are in conflicts. When we come to the right hand side, we perceive the whole world as the same because it's the brain for the artist, the poet, for meditator. When you meditate, you develop the right side brain, and you tend to love people because no separation. You look at the world as a whole. When your right brain function, no me, no ego, only wholeness. So she suggests that for religious purpose, you help the children to develop the right hand side brain so that they will have the right attitude like loving kindness, compassion, unity. For logic, for language, for science, you spend too much time for developing the left side language. So that's why in Zen Buddhism, they keep silent in meditation, no language, no chit chat in your brain. Calm meditation to calm down the left side brain. Encourage or develop the right side brain. This development comes from two brain theory discovered by Sperry, who get the Nobel Prize in this discovery, and confirmed by the experience of Arthur. She is a neuroscientist, this one. neuroscientist. That's why she described after the stroke. So our brain activity can be measured. So that's why there have been research on meditation by using MRI EEG that well known in the Western world, like Richard Davidson in 1992 tap the brain of the meditator from Tibet and see the brain wave. When you are listening to my talk, your brain wave is in this stage, beta, that is 12 to 30 cycles per. So that is the active state. Now, when you calm down, relax, go to the beach, look at the sunset, your mind slower, working slowly, 8 to 12 cycles. And the theta state, that is the relaxation of meditation practice, your mind slower in this brain wave, just 4 to 7. In jhana, in trance, in deep sleep, just a delta state, 1 to 4. But for those who develop his mental state so much that the mind know everything, Sapanyu, know all, his mind go to this stage, gamma, that is work, and like the Buddha, gamma wave. That's why the Buddha sits under the Bodhi tree. You see the ray comes out of his brain because of the gamma ray. This can be confirmed by scientific discovery on brain or not, depends on your discussion, and we look forward to uh, the success of this seminar. So with this word, it's like an introduction to you all, and is a preliminary discussion that I provide to you. I hope that you will continue to ponder upon these points and bring out the uh, what is applicable solution to this question, this problem that have been raised. Thank you very much for paying attention to me.